my name is Rashmika Vaituri, and today I'll be talking about the commencement of World War One. Eric couldn't be here today, but he helped a lot with the presentation, so I'm just going to do this. Okay, so one of the main reasons why the World War One started was because of the assassination of this Archduke named Ferdinand. And who is he? Well, he was basically the heir to the Austrian throne, and he was shot at the Bosnian capital of Sarajevo by Gavrilo Princip, a Serbian nationalist. And basically, this murder caused a lot of tensions to rise, and soon enough, Austria declared war on Serbia. So we already see that there's a divide between these two countries. So another reason why the World War just started off really small from just a small assassination and grew really fast was because that there were already these alliances that were forming between countries in the world. By 1907, there were two major defense alliances in Europe, the Allies and the Triple Alliance. So the Allies were essentially made up of France, Britain, and Russia, while the Triple Alliance was composed of Germany, Austria, and Italy. So all six of these countries are big, major countries, and we see that by forming this alliance, they are already creating the separation and basically like creating hate between the two alliances. So the mess that ensued because of this alliance was that when Austria-Hungary was allied with Germany, Germany declared war on Russia. On August 3rd, Germany declared war on Russia's ally, France. Then Germany attempted to battle France and devised a plan to enter by crossing through Belgium. And because Belgium was allied with Britain, Britain declared war on Germany. So we see that there's this entire mess of countries that is essentially forced to choose and pick a side because there is a conflict solely between Germany and Russia. This reminds me of like if two of my best friends had a fight, it's really hard for me as a third party to be neutral. Therefore, I'm forced to pick a side. So who started the World War? Germany started the World War. So the U.S. enters the war. So in my previous analogy, I said it was hard for someone, like if my two friends had a fight, it would be hard for me, a third party, to remain neutral. And the U.S. struggled with this. In 1917, the United States of America struggled to maintain neutrality. After much debate, President Woodrow Wilson declared war against Germany. And according to the textbook which we read, it says that several attacks on the American cruise ship by German submarines was the reason why the president decided to make this decision. But upon further research, Eric and I found that this is actually not true. If this isn't the real reasons, because if it was the real reason, America would have made a brash decision and declared war immediately after the explosion. But in actuality, they declared war on April 2nd, 2 years after the explosion actually happened. So it's kind of fair to say that we can attribute the reason why the U.S. entered the war to other reasons. So one reason that we thought was that Germany's had unrestricted use of submarine warfare. This had to kind of do with the fact that they did in fact bomb that cruise ship. In addition, they had control over the seas, and they basically restricted the American people and the American naval situation to not sail in certain areas and stuff, and that was unethical and immoral. In addition, there was this thing called the Zimmerman Telegram, and this Zimmerman Telegram was essentially this kind of bribery, deal where Germany paid Mexico in land and in money for future support. And when the American people found out about this, they were obviously not very happy. This was published and pretty much everyone knew about it, and so therefore there's already that internalized hate or that dislike towards towards Germany. In addition, we decided to help out our own allies by picking sides, and in this case our main ally was Britain. So another reason why we we joined this war and this war started was the idea of imperialism and this desire of world domination. And the US is a victim of this desire. The competition is to be the best of the best was always alive, and Germany is a country that took this idea to the next level. They aspired in becoming a superpower, and because of this, they competed with France and Britain in the contest for colonies. So not only are they contesting for colonies, they're also like on completely different sides, and this imperialism just further drives home the point that there was a very, very strong divide between these two allies. Another reason why the World War One, sorry, started was militarism. So this is essentially the development of armed forces and the use of these armed forces as a tool of diplomacy. So Germany took this policy very seriously, and they elevated their navy and their like air force and their army to compete with Britain's. And this sort of competition that we see with imperialism as well is present in militarism, and they wanted to be able to be undefeatable and defeat any enemy whenever necessary. Nationalism. Nationalism is essentially the love that an individual has for their country. And once the American people saw that Germany was getting stronger every single day, all these nations developed like a competitive kind of view of, and they formed like little rivalries between these nations. So the sense of pride in their nations greatly influenced the war, because if you love something, you're going to fight for it no matter what. And this is how the American people felt, and they didn't want to lose sight of this specific goal. So there's these two videos, and because it's in a screencast, I can't really play it for you, but it's on the slides itself that we will share. But this first video essentially goes into detail of specifically why nationalism affected the American people so strongly, and what made the American people vulnerable in the first place to fall to such strong feelings of nationalism. And the second part is explores why the U.S. entered the war in the first place, and goes through like Wilson's kind of policy and stuff. And so this is our works cited, our pictures, and thank you so much for listening. This is it. Thank you.